Comic Uno, and today we're doing a review for Man of Steel, and these are the people I actually saw the movie with, which you'll be seeing in this week's vlog, because I did it with Man of Steel, and I have people that are not really big comic book fans. You'll introduce of how big of a comic book fan you are when you introduce yourself, so let's start introducing ourselves. I'm Comic Uno, obviously, it's my show, that's why I have the type of interviewer chair.
I told her she should sit in it.
Because we didn't have enough room in my poster room, and it was kind of messy, so we just decided to do it here, and it worked pretty well. So who are you?
I'm Luke. I'm Comic Duo.
Yes, on occasion.
Yeah, on occasion. I do videos with Catherine. I do articles for Comic Frontline.
Vlogs every week.
Yeah, I do. We do the vlog every week. I forgot that's what you call it. Yeah, I'm in that every week. And so how big of a comic book fan am I? I used to read a lot. Like, I used to be very
into... used to be, like, both. Like, very into...
Literally a subscription, like, every week in the mail. And it got really expensive. And my mom was like, this ain't happening no more. And I was like, okay. So I don't read anymore, but I used to. But I am knowledgeable about the comic book world.
And Superman in general.
And Superman and stuff in general. And so, based on that knowledge, am I supposed to say whether I like the movie?
No, we'll talk about that after, but I just wanted to show the knowledge of, like, a perspective of people that don't like comics.
So I'd say knowledgeable.
Like, knowledgeable.
We're knowledgeable.
Yes.
You picked the most knowledgeable people that you
So,
possibly have.
who are you?
Oh, I'm your brother, as I'm sure you
My
know.
twin.
Yeah, you may have seen me on fan favorites, like my Mother Versus interview thing. That was nice.
That's a fan favorite,
yeah.
right?
I write Mother Versus on Catherine's whatever, other channel. You know, whatever you guys call her. Yeah, so
Cat
I do
and
that.
Catherine.
But wait, where do you use cat?
Cat is what I always use.
Right.
Like
Catherine is my real name, guys.
If you want to send her anything, it's Kathryn. People don't get that right.
Yeah, so. People never get that right.
Don't call her.
And she goes
Kate.
crazy if you don't get it right.
Yeah, not really. But I don't like people that do it with
off.
C or anything. But yes, it's Catherine and Cap. I usually use Cat, and they call me Cat and Catherine. But
whatever.
I don't know, how much of a comic book fan are you at?
Huge. No, not really. I mean, like, I don't particularly remember reading any comic books ever, so.
But Dad used to read it to us, but like, not in a way.
I would like leave a room. I'm just not a big comic book fan. But I've seen all of the comic book movies, and I'm a not big, but I like movies, so I feel that you're really looking at a trustworthy person right now.
Alright, so who are you on the end of the corner?
And I'm John. I'm their close friend.
He's expendable.
Okay, Luke.
Comic duo over
I'm not really into comic books, but I like to go see the movies that are based off of comic books, because most of the time they're pretty cool.
Okay, so we are going to be talking about Man of Steel, and we're going to try to avoid spoilers, but honestly there's not a lot of spoilers, so let's talk about what did we like about the movie. I'm going to say what I liked about the movie. I think the Lois, and I'm going to talk about different themes, and we'll all talk about it together, and then talk about what we liked if I didn't talk about it. Lois and Clark, I think that's a very important relationship in superhero comics, anything. And do you think they did it right here? Do you think Lois and Clark was done right? Look, what did you think? I think they did it right.
I think they did it very well.
Okay, anything else to expand on?
I thought it was good.
Alright, Alex, what did you think about Lois and Clark?
I mean, I kind of liked it. The only thing that I felt like was a little off about the relationship is that I felt like she was almost forced to like him, because it was like he saved her life on like numerous occasions. It's like you're kind of like
distress.
At that point, it's like, how can you not be in love with a person who just saved you over and over and over? Like, she should have died about like 7 times in this movie. So
do you think? I think this is an important question. Once I get to John about Lois Clark, do you think the relationship was that she liked Clark, or do you think she just liked who he was? Because in this movie, I felt like
she liked Kal.
That's what I'm saying.
I
feel like she just liked that, like, you know, nobody's gonna mess with her because
she has a phaser from Jor-El, though we saw her in this, and she kind of kicked some butt in this, but not really. But yeah, I do agree. I think she didn't like Clark because we didn't really know who Clark was. It was more of a Kal-el movie. But John, what did you think about Lois and Clark?
I feel like they didn't show that they were actually in love until the end of the movie when they kissed.
Yeah, I mean,
it was just like he kept saving her, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is
they just kiss, and it's
like an inconvenient girl who just kept on.
It's like, oh, yo, you saved my life 4 4
I
times.
thought it
Let
was
the kids
going
see it.
well.
There wasn't any like awkward tension kind of like love thing going on at any point in the movie. So that was kind
Luke
of.
said that he thought they were falling in love.
I thought it was okay. I didn't really notice.
I felt
this.
like I feel like maybe now you might be realizing it because now I'm starting to realize.
Yeah, because it's more. I felt like it was more that I think Lois loved who Clark was and not the icon who he was and not you know.
It's like a celebrity.
Yeah, I think that's in this movie at least.
Even though he's not really, I'm not saying that he's like famous in the movie because at the beginning.
Yeah, they're calling him Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, I think is that all your thoughts about Lois? I think Lois was played very well with Amy Adams. I was very nervous. I wanted someone with a very
I was picturing
accent.
a fucking Disney voice to come
Enchanted.
out, like Superman. Fucking chipmunk comes up, like
exactly.
okay.
Like I wasn't expecting that she could play this role. I wanted more of a rusty voice for the character, but I think she played Lois very well as a character. I felt like she was kind of a strong character, better than just a damsel in distress. Do you think she was more of a damsel? And I think that was very important.
Yeah, I would compare. I think she was as good as Anne Hathaway was as Catwoman in that, because like you know how they're both not the damsel in distress as being the leading lady in the movie, so I think they both did like for DC's women have been very good in movies. So
I agree. It's been a lot better. It's like like Jane, let's say.
Exactly, like DC's women are doing very well.
Like Gwen Stacy or whatever.
Exactly.
Or what's her name? See, I'm not
Mary
Jane. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not like I think they're stronger female roles, not just like I'm a love interest. I love you no matter what. I thought it was more like Lois is there doing stuff. And she
was doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give her credit for being just a human. Like she went to space. She like went
she
back
didn't care.
down. She like was with the army. She was everywhere.
Although I wish we saw General Lane.
She was dedicated to her
But
work.
at the same time, she had like that whole like stereotypical I'm a journalist in a movie kind of girl thing going on.
No, I think that was good with they did with let's talk about Daily Planet.
She had it all going on.
What did you guys think about the Daily Planet? I like Perry White that they changed his
It was
race.
fucking Morpheus from the Matrix. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Hey, he worked. He
did a good job.
Maybe that's how he investigates.
But I
thought he was gonna end up asking Superman, "You want the red pill or the blue pill?" And I was gonna be like, "He's gonna take both pills because he has blue and red in his costume."
Yeah, and he's super, so that works. But
he did a good job.
What did you guys think of Jimmy Olsen being a female?
Joke.
She's Jenny Olsen, if you guys didn't know.
I didn't really recognize her much. Like, there's just like one scene. There's like a scene that like focuses on her, and I don't really care. I kind of just wanted her to die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was just. Remember, like when at the end, whatever, the guy's hitting on Lois, and then like he hits on her, and she's like, "Oh, like that was your line, bitch, to make a face."
She didn't have any lines.
Exactly, your line was to make a face,
and she was trapped, and that's it. They should have played more with her.
They should have just kept it as a ginger. They should have got a ginger male.
Or with the photography thing. I just didn't feel like
it couldn't be that hard to find somebody who has absolutely no lines. There's got to be like a million.
It was a SAG. It was SAG.
We need to make a video.
We have to talk about SAG
extras.
Non-union.
If you guys want that video, tell us.
Those two are especially focusing a lot on the extras.
Yeah, we were focusing a lot because we were extras in.
It's pretty funny.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but give it a high.
Woo! Just focus on the extras.
Focus on the extras.
Because now whenever I see a movie, my thing is I look at the extras around them. I'm like, what did they have to do for the scene? How many takes?
Did they have to scream? Did they get in trouble? Are they SAG or are they non-union?
Did they get sunburned throughout the whole time?
Were they treated well?
Did they get water 24/7?
Did you guys realize that poor kid was tortured since the beginning of the movie?
Which one?
That kid who he saved out of the water. That was that his mom went to.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Pete Ross. I'm sorry.
And then he's working at IHOP and something just flies through the roof.
And he's like,
this kid's life getting
worse. Pete Ross had the worst.
They should have used him as Jimmy Olsen. Make it a plus size Jimmy Olsen instead of a female Jimmy Olsen. If you want to get really technical, be politically correct. A transgender Jimmy Olsen, a red-headed woman turning into a man.
I I think would
That would
lose
have
the
been like
focus
cheap.
of
It's
Man of
like
Steel.
the other actor quit, so we needed to work it into the story.
Transgender. We don't know how much news they would be getting.
No, they had a lot of news of the Jenny Olsen, and that's why I was very surprised that they didn't really play with her.
I know, she was like a side piece. Like,
honestly, an extra.
were hilarious.
Yeah, the extras and IHOP.
They were at the table and they were covered like this with their clothes because they were fighting, and I just thought that was hilarious. And then there was one extra who showed up like 3 times. Like,
really?
Oh, yeah,
they came more than one day.
when I saw that, I whispered Catherine was like, sad.
He had more lines than the female Jimmy Olsen.
Well, yes, and that is very true. But we'll move away from the extra part, and we'll talk a little bit about the main villain, which is Zod. What did you guys talk? What did you guys think of? Well, what do you guys think about Zod? Did you like him as a villain? I was really upset that they didn't say Neil before Zod. You know, I was very, very upset they didn't say that iconic line. Anyone else?
I was upset about like the tornado. Like, I mean, as a
we're gonna talk about Zod. We're getting to tornado.
I have something to say about that. I need
the tornado or Zod?
The tornado.
All right, so we're talking about the tornado.
There are a few
and we'll get
things
to
that pissed me
Zod.
off about the tornado. So you go first, Luke.
One thing I want to say is John Kent. Is his name John?
Jonathan Kent.
Not you, John.
John. Okay, even though you injured,
we'll talk
even
about
though your
that.
leg was crushed, he was still standing though outside.
He could have tried.
He could have tried to fucking move his little fucking imp leg and try dragging along. Why did he just stand there like, oh,
no,
take me away?
Let me
They didn't even show you him flying away. It's just like, oh, let me stand there and melt into
he
dust.
stood there as the cars were flying. He was still standing there.
He could've
so like
fucking
the cars flew.
I will
he didn't.
explain.
Or crawl. You got on the fucking floor. Just
I will explain the Jonathan Kent scene.
But no, I know what you're
Let me explain.
No,
I will explain.
Let me explain about the tornado.
Alright, no, you'll explain tornado. Let me explain Jonathan Kent first.
First I will explain the tornado.
I'll explain Jonathan Kent.
First of all, where the hell did this tornado come from?
It's like Kansas. John Dorothy's probably fucking in that tornado as well.
John, move
But
your head a little
do you
bit
think
this
if they
way.
knew there was a tornado
No,
coming,
John.
they would be on the
Move
highway?
your head a little bit this way. You're out of shot.
Do you think if they knew there was a tornado coming, they would be driving on the highway,
Yeah,
right? Conveniently by an overpass?
That was the, and then the other thing is that which really annoyed me. If you're going to learn one thing from this video in terms of
he's a
weather
weatherman.
safety,
He's gonna be a meteorologist.
Yeah,
He's studying me a meteorologist.
and it's really bothering me that they took cover underneath the overpass, which is one of the worst
Wouldn't it
places
still get
to be.
ripped away?
Yeah, it's sometimes the wind is stronger under the overpass because you have all the wind channeling into the overpass. But they were okay. Like the tornado didn't even go near them. It literally just stayed in the same exact spot, swiped the father off his legs, kind of, and that was it. And everybody else was okay.
But the dog was saved. But let me explain why Jonathan Kent did this.
But wait, now why could the dog run in the wind, but the father couldn't?
Because the
he had
father
his ankle
wanted to die.
Yeah, technically he
I'm
did.
not convinced that he was done with his marriage and just wanted to die.
Let me explain. That Jonathan Kent in the comic books and in Smallville had a heart attack. That's how he died. But this was more of like, Clark, you can't reveal yourself. Don't save me. And that's what he's trying to convince.
He could have crawled on the goddamn
He could have, but he wasn't going to survive.
Parents will do a lot to like teach their kids a life lesson. He just decided that he was going to
his lessons are life or death.
Yeah, and that's how Jonathan Kent died. I liked his death. I thought it was well done, better than the heart attack. I thought he was better.
How do you melt into dust?
Who melted into dust?
You just see him disappear in the dust, but there's nothing there afterwards. So where did his body go? Is it the
movie, so they had show gore.
They had incredible effects throughout the movie. They could have
did
done a better job with that.
Now let's actually talk about the effects at first. I think
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Why I was gonna say Zachary Quinto, I don't know. But I think Zack Snyder did a little bit over the top with Krypton.
Yeah,
you're probably thinking of Zachary Quinto because like a lot of sci-fi stuff.
So I'm thinking Spock. But I thought it was very over the top and a little bit too over the top for Superman.
I thought I was watching kind of like a mixture between Star Trek and Avatar in the beginning.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Krypton was it was good.
Way too long, too.
Way too long, and it was way
first
too
like 25 minutes.
Honestly, like I like Krypton. I felt like I didn't care. Like I felt like I wasn't like if you're gonna tell that story, it was important. But I feel like if you're gonna tell that story, why should I care? Why do I care about these characters? The mom's like, I'm gonna press this button.
She's like,
and Clark is gonna go. I mean, Kal-el will go away.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the thing with like the Kryptonians or whatever. Like, but they were pretty matter of fact. Like their planet was being destroyed, and they were just like, well, I guess it's the end, and that was it. They didn't care. care. They honestly
That's another
couldn't
thing.
care.
How does she disappear into fire?
She was
Zachary Snyder.
But now if
just
something
like that.
comes with fire that fast, like it's coming out of the ground, shouldn't she
But she
launch
just like
into the
this.
air? No, she just stands there.
That's true. That's a
you
good
know what?
point.
I got nothing to live for.
But she just stands there.
Yeah.
Like all the fire's
saying,
launching out of the ground, breaking the planet apart, but no, she just stands
Yes, that was
there.
an
It's like,
issue. Yeah, I had that issue with the special
Well, I
effects.
think
Yeah, I think
for the actress, you couldn't tell she was actually sad because she had tears on her face, but her emotions were still like normal. Like she'd be talking like it's like, oh, Jarrell, do you still want to go to like tears just started.
our planet is destroyed.
Our planet's going. Our planet's going to be destroyed.
Why did they send the prisoners off of the planet when they knew the planet was going to be destroyed?
They did that in the second original Superman.
Maybe that's what they're. I don't know why they did that.
But
they should show the Phantom Zone better.
If you picture yourself as like an Earth being destroyed and you have prisoners you're going to send into outer space, wouldn't it be better for them to just stay on the planet because they were going to die? That would have ended the movie.
Now, I think I agree with this, and the special effects, I love the flying, though. I love the flying in this movie. I thought it was really good.
No, they remind me of,
there was a lot
remember that Superman Returns video game? The Xbox
Yes.
when you flew, it broke the sound barrier?
That's what it reminded me of.
This video game is going to be like ridiculous easy if the one
That's
comes
if
out.
they make one.
If they make one, are they going to?
I don't know, because for like all the Dark Knight movies, they didn't make one.
I hope they don't.
Because the one part where Lois Lane's trying to get out of the spacecraft and then like the father's just guiding her, it's just like
That's
go here, go here, go here.
Yeah,
It's like
literally
look left, look right. I swear to
Look
God.
right, do your head.
Yeah, they should have had Liam Neeson as the father.
Do this. Turn your head. Shoot him.
They gave her no credit at all. Like he thought that she was just like a dumb.
But they did the same thing to Clark too. Like the father's like punch the wall. You didn't see that?
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah.
You were in the bathroom for part of it.
Yeah, I had to pee so bad, so I missed a little second.
Jumbo soda.
A jumbo
She
soda.
missed a lot.
But let's talk about alright. Special effects really good, except sometimes it was a little over
Except
top.
for certain
Zack
things
Snyder.
were very inaccurate in terms of like the people being
tornado.
exploded. Yeah, the father in the tornado and the person.
Let's talk about Clark's childhood. I want to talk about that a little.
Or lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof. I thought they did
an American show.
Yeah, I thought they proved that a lot. I liked how they showed in this movie it was a bridge, and they showed that it was Kal-el, but he's a human also. And I think those flashbacks showed of how much of a bridge he is to Earth and Krypton, and that's why I really liked it. And I think the flashbacks at first I didn't like it because I'm like, all right, just tell a story. How did Jonathan die? How did this happen? But I liked how they did it, and showing Lana, showing Pete. Were really good. I wish I saw Lana as a.
I wish Lana was working at that I have to say Pete.
Yeah, instead of Pete. Although Pete, you just have to feel bad for. But yeah, I liked Smallville a lot in this, and I think they did a great job at that. Do you think?
Talk about the Chloe thing.
Oh, but I will want to mention this. If you guys watch Smallville, they had a Chloe Sullivan reference because in the back of the barn when Clark is getting beat up, they have Sullivan trucks, and I screamed. I'm like, Chloe Sullivan. I looked it up. That is a reference to Chloe Sullivan. My favorite character of all time, so that was really nice to see. Yeah, because Chloe's not even in the comics, so that was a really kind of.
She's not in the Smallville comics.
Well, she's in. No, she kind of got kicked out of the Smallville comics also, so she's not in the comic books. I really gave justice that she did a lot of Smallville stuff.
Like future movies, you would say, or no?
She was referenced, so who knows? That would be really cool if we saw that though. But I like that they reference a lot of Smallville stuff. So did you like the childhood flashbacks? I think they did that really well.
Yeah.
That's what I liked a lot. How about you, John? Do you like the flashbacks of the children? I mean, of his childhood?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I liked that a lot in the bridge. I thought that worked really well. I think they concentrated a little bit too much on Kal-el. That I felt that we didn't get to see the humanized Clark that much in a better way. What do you think? I didn't feel like
you know what I think it is? It's like, which identity are we looking at? And you know what that always brings me back to?
What?
You remember in Kill Bill 2, Bill's analysis of Clark Kent, the identity, how it's his critique on us. And in fact, his identity is obviously Kal-el, but he pretends to be Clark Kent and shows us what he thinks of humanity and stuff. So which side did we really see more of in
maybe
this
himself.
movie?
Yeah.
I feel like we saw more of Kal-el. I think the next movie will definitely be more about Clark Kent.
And I think it'll be more about Clark Kent and one thing
we'll see that insecure side. We'll see
and the struggle. And we saw that in the end, which I give applause.
I don't know. I just found it kind of weird that like he became Clark Kent after he became Superman.
No, but
I don't know if that happens in the comic books, does it? Because
it's showing that his identity is Kal-el,
Yeah,
and
but I feel
his disguise is his real life. It's his glasses.
I know, but I feel like personally, it's just really hard once you're known of saving the world to have a secret identity just by putting your glasses on.
Because like no one would
Especially
picture
since he doesn't have a mask. It's like you see his face
His mask
every day.
is his glasses.
He changes his posture also.
Yeah, he changes posture, and the thing is that a lot of people.
Then how did he get a job at the Daily Planet?
Lois Lane, because Lois is like, hey, like the way in the end of the movie, the last line is, "Oh, I'm Lois Lane. Obviously, I know you because I've known you as Clark Kent this whole movie." And that's the one thing I want to mention is Lois Lane. I love that they did that, and that's I think the relationship will do better because she met Clark. She doesn't say, "Oh, you're Superman. I only know you as Superman."
Exactly.
She
The
knows
original
Clark.
movie did, right?
Yeah, it was just more about, oh, I know Superman. I love Superman. I don't. Clark is just my friend.
Exactly, and she never knew who his.
And they did that right in this movie, saying, I know you as Clark, I'm Lois Lane, but I know you're Clark Kent. And that's how I think the relationship will be better. But going back to your question, is that the glasses is his identity, and he changes posture, and no one will think Clark Kent, the Klutz, would be a superhero. And that's why people don't see that. So that's one thing I want to mention.
That's one of those forgiving
So you mean to tell me if I
facts
take
about
off my
comic
glasses, change my posture, and
It's
put it
not
in the suit?
about that.
I mean, because it's showing that Clark Kent's the disguise, and Kal-el is the superhero that we know, which is the reverse of what superheroes we do know.
I feel like you can't really top what he did in this movie. Like, I know you were saying with Lex Luthor, probably.
Lex Luthor will show well, this is.
But I know what you're getting at. You can say it. But
well, the thing I want to see in the next movie is to question his humanity, because a lot of people are not questioning, like, oh, he's our superhero, we trust him.
And that's what I love. What
yes,
General
and I
Zod
love.
did.
Yes, I love that. And like, how do you question that? Everyone loves Superman now, but Lex Luthor will come in and say he's an alien. Let me prove how much you should hate him, and that's why the next movie I think will be like The Dark Knight. More brilliant than this Man of Steel movie. I think if we bring Lex Luthor in, he will be that main villain if you do him right. And we'll show he's an alien, don't trust him, and then have the world go against him. And that's why I think the second movie could be really good if they bring Lex Luthor in. Do you think Lex Luthor could be a good villain for the next movie?
I think it could. I feel like they have to continue the movie. They can't just stop after just making one.
I heard they are going to make a second one. So, do you think it would be like a Dark Knight if they simplified
Exactly, because
it?
like the angle of where the villain's coming from is totally different. Because Joker was all about the mind. Well, what's Lex Luthor?
All about the mind, and I really
hope
hope
it's not too much like The Dark Knight.
It will. I don't. It's just showing. I think it's just showing how the villain could be so important.
I think it's gonna be a new direction.
A new direction to this character, and one thing that Lex is always questioning, and All-Star Superman is, I hope they get a blueprint from that. It shows that
that would be a good movie.
That would be great, and showing that I am growing old and you're not. So showing the human is growing old and the human is doing this, but why can't he grow old? And just showing the Lex and Clark and why Lex and Superman, why they're so against each other, and like how Lex is so jealous and he wants power, and showing how he's human, but Clark is more human because he lived in Earth. And I'm hoping they show that dynamic and that simplicity for the second movie.
With that, they're probably gonna have Lex Luthor and also a superhuman villain, so that way, because they're probably like
the Bane type of thing.
Exactly.
Like maybe.
Who's gonna be pulling the strings though?
Well,
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, of course, and I think that would be very fun, and I really, again, do the All-Star Superman route, and I think that would be perfect. But let's talk about our main villain. What do you guys think about that second movie idea? Do you think Lex Luthor would be a good, as a mainstream audience, because I think this is really looking at the mainstream, like you guys didn't really realize.
The mainstream audience doesn't really care who the villain is as long as they see a lot of explosions.
There still will be explosions.
This is the mainstream
I
audience.
mean, I personally like to see more than just explosions, but like the general amount of people basically want to see a lot of action when they see a superhero movie. I mean, like, they're not there to see this crazy, like, complex thing. And the reason why certain movies like The Dark Knight are really good is because they show both aspects instead of just explosions. Like, The Avengers was pretty good. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but there were a lot of explosions.
And I think what DC's really could do is get more into, what they've shown in the past being able to do is getting into that character, and I really hope we get to the Clark Kent layer in the next movie. John, what do you think? You think we'll get to the Clark Kent layer if we get Lex Luthor and simplify who Superman is? Because I don't think Superman's a dark character. You don't have to go dark and gritty like Batman and have so many motives. Superman's a simple character, and I think they need to show that. And just show, hey, I grew up as a human, I'm an alien, but I'm more human than Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor wants to destroy this world, but I want to save this world, even though I'm the alien. So do you think Lex Luthor could be a good movie to prove that?
I feel like it would be.
Yeah, I think so. And let's talk about Zod. He's the main villain in this movie. Honestly, I didn't love him. I thought he was kind of on the two-dimensional side, and all he did was fight. It's like, I don't think they showed his motive of why he wanted to do Krypton.
No, they definitely showed his motive, I thought. He said that he was born to save Krypton. And to me, that he explained at the end, like, how much it meant to him and all that stuff, and his reasoning behind it. So I felt like they did a good job with that. I felt
the Smallville General Zod was better, in my opinion. And they should have said kneel down before Zod. That's his thing. He's a general.
But they didn't want to be exactly, so that was my reason.
They sort of did allude to something like that, because he called him Zod in the beginning, and then she was like, no, it's General Zod.
I mean, they did do a lot of that.
They still proved that point. Things like, oh, kneel down to him because he's so great, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I just felt like they should, because that's something his character really does too. Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
That's how.
The only thing I want to know is how many times did he have to hit him before the poor thing died?
There was 5 acts for Act 3. I felt like there's too many battles.
It's like die, just die. Yeah. You're gonna die anyway. Just like, die now.
Really prolonged. I think that was one of the things I didn't like about Zod is that all you did was hit each other.
Exactly. It's so stressful, especially in this one. There were so many of those scenes where you're like, oh my god, he's getting fucked.
It was a little bit too much.
I felt like they were all invincible, and it was like
that was cool.
It was like fighting fire with fire. There was literally like nothing you could do to kill.
It's like, oh, I'll launch you 100 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, you just launched me 200.
They just kept fucking jumping and jumping.
I'm going to explain
they
this.
Destroyed entire towns.
And did you guys ever notice every time they started a new fight, it was always by a brand new building?
That's what really bothered me.
I didn't realize that.
Literally, they destroyed a building every time they fought. Yeah. Oh. We destroyed these buildings. Yeah. Instead of fighting here, let's go to the new buildings and knock those down.
Yeah, they had an empty
Smallville is not a town.
That's what I did like though when he was fighting Zod first in the farmland. Like there wasn't many areas to crash into.
Well, one thing I want to remind you guys is that these Kryptonians...
Remind us, please.
No, these Kryptonians are very quick.
I forgot.
And there is a comic book series right before New 52, which you guys have no idea what the New 52 is, but you do.
This comic
the War of Superman, the 60-minute war. They all fought at war for 60 minutes. Yes, they were like all in it, and they all fought a war for 60 minutes. That's what that battle reminded me of, because it's going so quick and they're just fighting each other. That war could have been done in 60 minutes.
Yeah, except they were really just flying all over the place for 60 minutes and flying all over somewhere else.
And it worked really well, and it reminded me of that, and made me really...
I don't know. I felt like they should have died before.
Issues?
I don't even remember, but I didn't read the whole thing, but I remember it was just really fun just hearing it was a 60-minute war, and they were just fighting each other really quickly. But that's what it reminded me of in this movie. But, I think those are the good things. I like, the good things were Lois Lane, the bridge between humanity, I think a really good, like, Batman Begins it reminded me of. And it's like, it felt like a beginning. And it felt like Kal-el. And I think we'll explore more Clark Kent. If they don't, I'll be a little angry for the next movie. But I think we'll explore Clark Kent a little bit more, which I'm very happy for. And Martha was very good in this movie, I thought.
Are you sure?
I thought Martha was
Diane
cool.
Lane didn't, she kind of like, she's a little dull.
She's dull, but...
He found out who his parents were, and she's like, no, she was like, oh, that's
she was
upset. He asked her what was wrong. She was like, nothing.
But then she calmly says, you know.
Because she's Martha Kent, she's gonna calmly say it.
I know, but I felt like she could have been a little bit more, or at least explain.
You know why she's so dull?
Why?
She hasn't had John Kent's dick in a long fucking time.
And that's not
the only thing. Do that.
It was fucking implied.
But she is a little lonely, but
her house got destroyed, and she's like, I'm okay. She's just picking up some stuff from her brother.
I love that. I thought that was a joke. It's like, yeah, hon, I'm okay.
But she wasn't even joking about it. She was completely okay. She's like, it could be rebuilt. I'm pretty sure if anybody's house was done like that, she would be a little stressed out.
I'd be calling my insurance company. I'd be getting shit together. I'm not gonna look at old fucking pictures and be like,
she should have done what Aunt May did. Like when her house burned down, like
all I kept thinking was comparing her to Sally Field. Me too. I was like, I need to see that they work together. Who's more dull?
She should have been a little. Well, Sally Field was a little bit more dull as Aunt May in the first move. Peter, where are all the eggs?
Well, yeah, It said that's our hits. This is the photo album. Diana was like,
no, but I think there was a comic with Aunt May, I remember, and when her house burned down, this was Mary Jane and Peter were alive. When her house burned down, she was devastated. She's like, this is my house. But
I would be like, she shit her grandparents.
But let's talk about what we didn't like about the movie.
It's Superman and his family.
There's so much advertising in it.
A lot of
IHOP.
Sears.
Wait, did you guys know that the Sears one was actually done on purpose? Like, if you go on Sears Facebook
Oh yeah, I know.
page,
They're selling comic books actually. They're selling giving free comic books on a certain day. But one thing I want to say is that I thought this was a very solid movie. But let's talk about why it was solid. What didn't I like about this movie? I thought there was a lot of parts that were lagging and very long. Dragging out. What did you guys think? What was solid? I thought it was a very solid movie. 4 stars. I don't think it's my favorite movie of all time.
I think the whole beginning was just dragged out.
Yeah, the Krypton was dragged out.
The whole beginning I was falling asleep, and then towards the end I was like,
yeah, me too.
Wow, yeah, exactly.
At the same time, like, the beginning was really important because, like, that was, like, the focus of the movie.
It was, but I felt like
they could have made it more exciting.
They could have made it more exciting.
They could have made it more exciting.
Like when the planet's breaking apart, like I said, she just stood there and burned.
They
could have launched her into the air.
Luke wants to say
whenever in movies where they make like an intergalactic thing or an otherworldly thing, why the fuck is it everybody's dialect always has to be some Shakespearean tone?
That's
no, I'm serious. Like Russell
that
was like,
planet is breaking apart.
You are the one who's going to save. Why do they always have to have?
I always get the feeling like they're primitive to us, like they're more medieval,
I know.
and then they have like more technology than us, so I get really confused.
They have like these fucking middle-aged
That's a really good.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even their like clothes and stuff, I think is a special.
In Green Lantern, all the Guardians and everything, they had some like
Well, the Guardians I kind of understand because they're like.
Did they come from fucking Britain out of space? Like, what the fuck?
It turns out that every like planet has another country out there.
For real, like what's going on?
And, one thing I wish they kind of explained is that they all speak Kryptonian.
I would have liked to see.
They should explain like, here's a device that. Now I speak English. I felt they were like, hey, we're Kryptonian. We speak a different language, but we can understand you. That was something that kind of bothered me.
I would like to see some sort of like aspect of Krypton like thriving, even if it was for like a brief second, because it was just kind of hard to picture like why they would have deserved to have a second chance because they were. It seemed
we didn't feel for Krypton. It was a very long dialogue that we didn't care about.
Yeah, it just feels.
I didn't care for Zod. That's why I didn't care about Zod, and that's why I felt like he wasn't that great a villain.
And then also, you didn't actually see the planet breaking apart until the mother stood there in the window.
Yeah, it's like, there's a war. There's a war going on.
Yeah, everybody was like completely unsure as to whether their planet was being destroyed or not until the last second. I feel like if a planet is going to collapse, you're gonna feel like earthquake, something to make it more dramatic. You know,
instead like here's this random brush of lava everywhere.
I want to see like a rush for time. I want it to be like an earthquake. It's like we gotta get this baby out of here. Like I want to see that.
Well, I think that was actors' problems. Honestly, they're just like we gotta get this baby out.
I told Catherine, I was like, well, they don't act like this fucking world's about to blow.
Just like
his mom too. How long are you gonna stand there with your finger over the button?
Yeah, she's like, oh, should I do it? Yeah, okay.
It's fine. No, like, what do you have to lose? You're gonna die anyway.
Another thing, the button, even the pressing of the button should have been more exciting. She just touches the middle of it.
Why did I have to
should have just been boom?
Yeah, that's why I also.
It's like don't press the big red button type thing.
Why did they press the button in that movie? I felt like they would have saved 10 minutes of filming time if they did not have to press that button.
Yeah, they really need. It was way too long, this movie, and they really need to cut that down.
How long was the movie?
Like, more than 2 hours, yeah.
Probably almost as long as this video.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. No, but yeah,
I honestly didn't know I had this much to say.
I didn't know. No, I think that's cool about these type of reviews.
You're getting so into it and pointing out the stupidest
the minor details I didn't think about the movie. I was like, okay.
I like that we did it this way because we're talking about things we didn't notice, and that's what I love about these type of collab videos is talking about a movie and really going into it.
Is this why everybody should subscrib?
This is why everyone should subscribe because you can get more videos like this.
Be a guest on here.
Yeah, maybe. If you have a channel, maybe. Alright, well, yeah, so I thought Zod was probably the least part of, what I didn't like the most. Least favorite. I thought Lex Luthor could have been a better villain, but I think he's going to be a better villain for the second movie. Dragged out a little, but I'm going to give this a solid 4, guys. I definitely think you should go see Man of Steel. It was a good movie, And there's a lot of good things that you can talk about with your friends. And I think it felt like a Christopher Nolan movie where you can talk about it a lot and go in depth with it. And I think they did a good job with Man of Steel. Definitely better than Superman Returns. And I think Christopher Reeves would be happy, right? Christopher Reeves would be happy about this. I think he would be proud to see this. And I think 4 stars, solid. You know, it wasn't the best movie I've seen. I think Kick-Ass 2 might be a little bit better. Is that a little sad? I still have more anticipation for Kick-Ass 2.
I think because it's really edgy. We're just waiting for that.
It's really.
I'm very excited for that. This was a lot better than Iron Man 3. I thought. In 4, you know, it was a good movie.
4 stars for me as
well. What do you guys think? Out of 5 stars, what would you give this movie?
6.
Out of 5 stars, what would you give this movie, honestly?
5.
You really liked it? You thought it was the best movie ever?
Yeah, is this like your favorite?
Is 5 the best movie ever?
Yeah, 5 stars mean like
that
it's one of
means
your
like
favorites.
there was literally almost nothing.
Okay, well there are a lot of things wrong with that. I like a 3.
Shit, that's a big difference.
Alex, 3 is like it's on the edge of not seeing.
Well, I'll give it a 3 personally, just about way we could get a few dislikes on this video.
No.
We could balance it out.
Honestly,
It went from a 5 to a 3.
Alex, they're not gonna respect your grade. Give the real grade.
I have to agree though.
It's like a
very
yeah. If you think about
because if you think about it, only half the movie was good. The whole first half of the movie was boring.
I still thought it was a solid
3.
movie. Still, but 3 is also
Right, 3 and a half. I don't care.
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5 is a good
4.
grade.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.
4 to,
No, we shouldn't have to grade on fucking grades based on what they're gonna think.
Yeah, you know what? You heard about 25 minutes of what we think about this movie. I think you can come up with a grade yourself.
Exactly.
I give it a solid 4 as Comic
I'm gonna give you guys enough credit as Comic Uno's twin brother that you can actually come up with a grade yourself. Tell us in the comments below what your grade is for this movie.
I would love to hear it. And
I feel
if there's
that I want to be
any,
judged.
let me just ask one more last question. Did this live up to your hype? I wasn't expecting a lot from this movie. I thought it was gonna be very gritty.
Me too. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
but I thought it was good.
I thought it was gonna be way too gritty and dark, but I think they overlooked that. It wasn't dark. It was just
it was one of the better movies I saw this year.
Yeah,
I didn't see that many movies or like that many movies, but it was still one of the better ones. Layman was.
I think
Iron
it went over my
Man 3 was
hype.
okay.
I feel like I'm in the fucking movies every week.
I feel like they see a lot of movies, not good movies, which is kind
Since April.
Since April, there's been a lot of movies.
It's been the best movie I saw this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is the best movie I saw this year.
Yeah?
So far.
What else are we?
Because we didn't really say anything that great.
Yeah, honestly, everything else I hated.
Yeah, it's since January.
I kept walking out of the morning, but like, Catherine, I didn't like it.
It's like, why did I spend my... Yeah, this was better than Iron Man 3. That was like one of my...
I mean, like, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I thought this was definitely the best movie I saw.
This is better.
But that's not saying much either, though.
I know, right?
But again, Kick-Ass 2 is what I'm really anticipating.
I have no hype.
Wolverine, I have no hype for, just saying. So walking into that movie,
no fucking hype.
I'm gonna see it, but I have no hype. But John, did this go over your hype, or was it a little less?
The beginning, I thought it was just gonna be horrible.
Yeah, the beginning actually made you like.
Once they actually started fighting each other, it got a lot more
But that's a totally subjective point of view.
That's their mainstream audience point of view, so it's
everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Do you have something to say to me, Lou?
You say you're 5'11".
Alright, so guys,
do you want to start a fight, Lou?
We all want to start a fight. So we're gonna give this best movie for me so far. But again, that's not really saying much, but I give it a solid 4.
We still have all the way till December.
Yes, very solid 4. Excited for movies.
So fucking solid, you can just fucking touch it and
it's solid.
I'm gonna launch you 100 feet, Luke.
What's your issue?
So we are gonna end this video.
Drama is out.
Guys, I'm gonna say where you guys can follow if you want to be followed on Twitter. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rand Situations. Do you guys want to be followed anywhere on Twitter?
I mean, no.
Alright. Well, you can follow me on Twitter because I always say that. And this was Comic Uno. I hope you guys enjoyed. And guys, don't forget to leave your comments in the comments below. That way I can hear your opinions. Tell us what you thought. If you like this type of style of movie reviews, we'll do them again for these big type of movies. And I had fun with this. I like that we talked about things that we might not realize if we...
Jesus Christ, you could have ended that like a year ago.
Oh my god, just end it.